Hey, I'm Brian Miller, magician and motivational speaker. If you're a regular subscriber, thanks so much for sticking with me, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. This is the third installment in our new Audio 101 for Video Creators series, and in this video, we're going over how to set your incoming audio level. The techniques I'm teaching you in this video will work whether you're using a portable audio recorder like the Tascam DR-05, or if you've got a microphone plugged directly into your camera for vlogging purposes, like I'm doing for this intro right now. Not a big fan of wasting time, so let's get into it. But the next thing we need to talk about is the level. How do you set the incoming level for the audio that you're recording when you're using a portable audio recorder? Or any recorder for that matter. Now, when I say input level, this is also, you'll hear the term gain when you're hearing audio engineers talking or people in music. Gain is what I'm referring to as the input audio level. It's a question of how sensitive do you want your audio recorder to be to the incoming sound. If you crank it up too high, a loud sound can distort the audio. If you have it too low, you're going to get a lot of extra noise and hiss when you have to boost it later in post. So you really do want to set your level to the perfect spot. So first, how do you even set the incoming audio level on the DR-05? Well, you're going to hit the record button once. When you do that, it will enable recording. In fact, right now you can see it pegging along with the sound of my voice. You can see it right down here. This bar right here, I'm increasing by holding this to the right and decreasing by holding it to the left. 50 is obviously a good place to start when you're not sure where you want to set it at. But the question is, how do you determine how loud or how soft to set it? Audio engineers have a pretty good rule of thumb, and the rule of thumb is this. You want to set it so that the incoming source is pegging between -9 and -12 dB. dB stands for decibels. Again, we're not going to go into the specifics or the details of audio or the physics of sound waves here. Decibels are measured from negative numbers all the way up to 0. In the digital audio world, 0 is a ceiling. You cannot go higher than 0. When your audio signal hits 0, if it hits it or goes over it, you get what we call clipping. Clipping is digital distortion, and it's not like the old days of analog. In the old days of analog audio, distortion actually sounded pleasing. It created a saturation. It was how a lot of famous guitar tones and singers were captured, by deliberately pushing the audio signal into distortion or into saturation. But in the digital world, 0 is a brick wall. If you hit it, it clips, and when it clips, it gets digital distortion and it sounds horrendous. And when you clip, it is almost impossible to recover it in post. There's basically nothing you can do. It's like clipping your highlights. If you blow out the highlights, even if you were shooting in RAW, there's almost nothing you can do when you blow out the highlights, when you really clip them. So for that reason, what most audio engineers do is they set their input level so that the audio source that you can see right here, that's the thing pegging around right here, you can see that it's never getting louder than -9, and it's sitting somewhere on average between -9 and -12. But if I was much, much closer to it, for instance, if I got right up in here, now you're going to see that it's getting much, much louder than -9. In fact, it's actually clipping. And when it clips, look what it does. You see this red light right here? This red light underneath the peaking right there. When that thing peaks, when that thing clips, it's going to light up that red light right there. And then you're going to notice when you listen back that you would get clipping or audio distortion. Okay, so everything you're hearing now is coming through the Tascam DR-05. So right now I'm getting a nice clean sound. You can hear it's sitting somewhere between -9 and -12. Occasionally it comes above -9, but it's not too bad. But if I get closer to it like this, it's going to get louder. And if I start talking like this, it's now going to be peaking. It's now going to be clipping, and you should be hearing that awful distorted sound, unlike when I'm talking like this and I'm getting it sitting between -9 and -12. So whether you're recording directly into a portable audio recorder to do a voiceover like this, or you're plugging in an external microphone like a clip-on lavalier or a compact shotgun mic that you would normally sit on your camera and plug in directly, whatever you're using, you want to test out the audio with whatever the source is. So you're going to set up your microphone, make sure it's sitting wherever you want it to be, and then you're going to hit the record button once. So after you've hit the record button, that's called record enable, you're just going to keep talking and you're going to play around with your input level. So like right now, if I had my input level down here at 25, I would see that I'm peaking somewhere around -27. Well, that's way too low. So I could jack it all the way up here. If I came all the way up to 75, I see I'm getting all the way up to -1, sometimes I'm peaking, that's too loud, so I would back it off. I find that somewhere between 42 and 50 is usually the right volume, no matter what I'm using. So when you set your input gain so that you're peaking between -9 and -12 dB, what that does is it gives you a bunch of headroom. It gives you a bunch of room between the loudest signal and 0, that brick wall that you don't want to hit. And that means you'll have plenty of room to boost your signal in post and get the right volume. Typically at that point, you would start doing things to your audio like adding EQs and compressors, but that is a topic for a future video. All right, well, I really hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you got something out of it. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I am a magician and motivational speaker. I travel the world doing magic shows and sharing my message with audiences all over the place. It's a lot of fun. You can watch my channel for vlogs. I upload at least 2 to 3 vlogs a week most of the time when I'm on tour, when I'm on the road. When I'm not on the road, I do videos like this, kind of camera tutorials and gear reviews and some travel gear reviews. And those of you who've been following along for a while, thanks so much for doing that. If you're new, I'd love to have you join in the community. Leave comments down below, Q&As on Fridays, so feel free to shoot me a question in the comments if you got a question about cameras or magic or motivational speaking or traveling. Or I'm pretty sure the next video that you see in this series is going to be a very quick video about how to sync up audio and video once you've recorded it to an external device. We may as well make this series comprehensive and answer all the questions from start to finish. So again, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Brian Miller, and always remember that our world is a shared experience. Have a great day.